C-SPAN's local content vehicles are traveling the country as we look at some of the most closely contested House races leading up to this November's midterm elections.
And it's with a lot of hard work. It's with a message that you guys believe in, which is limited government. Get the government out of my way and let me just blaze my own trail, quit spending my money, and give some people back to work. And that's a message that's resonating out there, and I think it's amazing. And you guys are probably feeling on the ground what I'm feeling all over the place, which is just folks rising up and saying we're going to take our country back. And that's great.
So I'm just here to say we're in this together. But if people don't vote on Election Day, we're going to wake up and things are going to be really bad. We want to wake up knowing that we're going to continue moving forward, because the first thing I learned about politics is if you're in a hole, quit digging. We're out of that hole. I don't want to go back to digging out of it.
The candidates for the 11th Congressional District are the incumbent freshman Debbie Halvorson. She is from Crete, Illinois, which is a far south suburban suburb, and she is being challenged by Adam Kinzinger, and he is from Central Illinois, and he's an Iraq war veteran and has served on a county board in Central Illinois. Halverson has a number of challenges. She's a freshman, and the district for years was represented by a Republican. So being a freshman, she's automatically a target because the Republicans want to try to get that seat back. She also has voted with the president on two of the most controversial bills introduced, the stimulus package and his health care reform bill. So she's being targeted on a couple of those issues. However, she did run on health care reform, so it is something that's important to voters here. I don't think she'll take too many hits over the health care vote, but the stimulus bill, the more the stories come out about how that money is being spent, she's going to have some problems with that. I don't think she wants to be seen with President Obama. I think she's having a hard enough time now trying to separate herself from Nancy Pelosi. There have already been some mailers out linking the two of them together, and I think she's trying to really present herself as an independent, and therefore, no, I don't think she wants to be seen with President Obama right now. The makeup of the district is largely rural. There are a few urban pockets, but it covers the south and southwest suburbs of Chicago, and then there's a tiny portion that stretches down to central Illinois, which includes a university town. So it's largely white, mostly rural, and Republican-leaning. It was a district that was actually created by the Republicans during the last redistricting. There has been a little pocket of Tea Party activity here. So you're hearing from the Tea Party folks that they want smaller government, not more, less spending. They want to protect the Second Amendment. Those are all issues that are coming up in this race, and Halverson is kind of an interesting Democrat in that she did come from a rural hunting and farming community, so she is a Second Amendment supporter, and she does have some more moderate stances. She's trying to remind voters that she's a homegrown gal, and that's what she has going for her. She rose really from being a township clerk and selling cosmetics to being a member of U.S. Congress. She works really hard. She's a known commodity around here. So I think he's battling with just voters being very familiar with her and feeling like she's kind of one of us.
But my district has always been a swing district. It could go either way. And when I won last time, we knew that it was going to be a tough race all along. I represented a swing district when I was a state senator for 12 years. Could have gone either way even then. But the voters, they like the fact that I'm an independent fighter. I'm the 8th most moderate member of Congress. You know, people want somebody who's going to fight for them and make sure. I brought the soon-to-be vacated Silver Cross Hospital. It's going to be a veterans center. We want to make sure that we continue to fight for things that are important for the district.
Adam Kinzinger is a young 30-something up-and-comer in the Republican Party. He ran for office for the first time at age 20 and served on a county board in Central Illinois. And then he went and joined the Air National Guard and served several tours of duty in Iraq and a few in Afghanistan as well. And he's just very well-spoken. He's very comfortable talking to the media. He's been challenging her on a lot of points. He's great at fundraising. He's not afraid to just pop into a fundraiser and talk to Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner of the White Sox, and ask for a contribution, ask for help for his campaign. So he's running on a, kind of a more pro-business, lower taxes platform. And he also, interestingly, was not the most conservative person in this primary. So he's getting some Tea Party support, but there were others he ran against in the primary who were more conservative than he was. He ran on an agenda of, we need to work together in Washington, and if the Democrats have a plan that's good, I'm willing to work with them. And I've seen him kind of pull back a little bit from that message, but he ran on a message of, it's too partisan in Washington and we need to fix it, it's broken.
We know unemployment all around the country is bad. In my district, it's especially bad. I mean, we're talking over 11% in a lot of areas. People just want to get back to work. And I think, one of the other big things that's really stood out in Illinois specifically is corruption. I mean, there's been a culture of corruption for the last decade in Illinois and even beyond that. And I think people are just tired of it. They're tired of that. They're tired of arrogance in government that says, well, we don't need to listen to you. We're just going to drive on our own agenda. And I think that's the reason we're seeing a lot of the problems we're seeing. That's why we're seeing out of control spending, out of control unemployment, because Washington, D.C., in many cases needs to run their government like people run their homes. You don't spend more than you take in. And ultimately, the private sector is what matters.
I think his biggest challenge is that she hasn't been in Congress for 10 years. If she were a Democrat who had served all this time and that whole throw the bums out theme worked with her, it would be much easier for him. But she's just a freshman, so she can't really wear the jacket for the deficits and all the problems that Washington has faced for the past 10 years because she hasn't been there. They're both raising a decent amount of money and putting out mailers, and by all accounts, it looks like they will both probably raise and spend over $1 million. It's one of the most watched races in the country. Both of the DC-based organizations are paying a lot of attention to this race, spending a lot of time looking at it. We haven't seen as much money pouring in from those two entities, but the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee and on the Republican side are both very focused on these two candidates. I think the Republicans think they can win it, and the Democrats are desperate to hold on to it. They got this seat after 15 years of Republican representation, and they want to make sure that Debbie Halvorson hangs on to the seat.
C-SPAN's local content vehicles are traveling the country, visiting communities and congressional districts as we look at some of the most closely contested House races leading up to this November's midterm elections. For more information on what the local content vehicles are up to this election season, visit our website, cspan.org/LCV.